This is a harrowing tale of love, betrayal, and tragedy involving a revered priest and a young woman whose lives collided in ways that would shatter a community and lead to devastating consequences. It's a story that highlights the dangers of forbidden relationships and the chaos they can bring, especially when secrets unravel and emotions reach their breaking point. The priest, Father Jonathan Mercer. Father Jonathan Mercer was a 47-year-old priest who had served the small, close-knit town of Ridgefield for nearly 2 decades. Known for his eloquent sermons and deep commitment to his parishioners, Father Mercer was regarded as a pillar of the community. He had overseen baptisms, weddings, and funerals, becoming a trusted confidant to many in the town. Despite his public persona, Father Mercer carried a hidden burden. Years of celibacy and emotional isolation had taken a toll on him. Beneath the surface, he wrestled with doubts about his faith and the personal sacrifices he had made for his vocation. This inner turmoil set the stage for a relationship that would spiral far beyond his control. Emily Parker, the young woman seeking redemption. Emily Parker was a 23-year-old woman who had grown up in Ridgefield. Though she was intelligent and ambitious, her life had been marred by hardship. Her mother had passed away when she was a teenager, and she struggled with strained relationships with her father and stepmother. Emily had also endured an abusive romantic relationship that left her emotionally scarred. Seeking solace, Emily returned to the church, where she had fond memories of her childhood. She believed that reconnecting with her faith could help her heal and find a sense of purpose. It was during one of Father Mercer's sermons that she felt an inexplicable connection to him. After the service, Emily approached Father Mercer for guidance. Their first few conversations were professional, with Father Mercer providing spiritual advice and reassurance. Over time, however, their meetings became more personal. Emily opened up about her pain and vulnerability, and Father Mercer, in turn, began sharing glimpses of his own struggles. The affair begins. What started as an innocent relationship quickly took a darker turn. Emily and Father Mercer began spending more time together, meeting privately under the pretense of counseling. They exchanged phone calls and messages, with their conversations growing increasingly intimate. For Father Mercer, Emily became a source of comfort and understanding. He convinced himself that their bond was unique and that it was helping both of them heal. Emily, on the other hand, found herself falling deeply in love with the man she saw as her savior. As their emotional connection deepened, it wasn't long before their relationship crossed physical boundaries. The two began an affair, fully aware of the consequences if their secret ever came to light. They met in secluded places, careful to avoid suspicion, but the weight of their actions loomed over them. The rumors began. In a small town like Ridgefield, secrets are hard to keep. Parishioners began noticing changes in Father Mercer's behavior. He seemed distracted during services and increasingly unavailable for his usual community activities. Emily's friends also grew suspicious. She had become withdrawn and evasive, refusing to answer questions about where she spent her time. The relationship, once a source of passion, began to strain under the pressure of secrecy and guilt. Father Mercer's anxiety grew as he realized how fragile their situation was. He began urging Emily to keep the relationship hidden at all costs. Meanwhile, Emily started longing for a future where they could be together openly. She pushed Father Mercer to leave the priesthood and start a new life with her. The breaking point. The turning point came when Emily discovered that Father Mercer had no intention of leaving the church. During a heated argument, he admitted that while he cared deeply for her, he could not abandon his duties or face the shame of exposing their affair. Feeling betrayed and heartbroken, Emily began threatening to reveal their relationship. She believed that if she came forward, Father Mercer would be forced to choose her over the church. Panicked, Father Mercer tried to calm her down, but Emily's anger only escalated. She started confiding in a close friend, hinting at a big secret she planned to expose. The friend, alarmed by Emily's erratic behavior, encouraged her to reconsider. The tragedy unfolds. On the evening of July 14, 2018, Emily asked Father Mercer to meet her at a remote spot near Ridgefield's old quarry. She wanted to confront him one last time, hoping to force a resolution. Witnesses later recall seeing Emily leave her apartment that night, visibly upset, but no one suspected the events that would follow. When Father Mercer arrived, Emily was already there, waiting for him. Their conversation quickly escalated into another heated argument. Emily reiterated her threats to go public, while Father Mercer pleaded with her to reconsider. In a moment of rage and desperation, Emily pulled out her phone, claiming she would record their conversation and send it to the media. Overwhelmed with fear, Father Mercer tried to grab the phone. In the ensuing struggle, Emily lost her footing and fell backward, hitting her head on a jagged rock. The impact was fatal. Emily lay lifeless on the ground as Father Mercer stood frozen in shock. The cover-up. Instead of calling for help, Father Mercer panicked. He feared that no one would believe her death was an accident, given the nature of their relationship. Acting on impulse, he moved Emily's body to a shallow ditch and covered it with debris. He then fled the scene, leaving behind a trail of evidence that would soon implicate him. Emily's disappearance was reported the next day when her friend couldn't reach her. A search was launched, and within 48 hours, her body was discovered near the quarry. The autopsy confirmed blunt force trauma as the cause of death, but the circumstances surrounding her fall raised suspicion. The investigation and arrest. Police quickly turned their attention to Father Mercer after examining Emily's phone records. The numerous calls and texts between them painted a picture of a close, secretive relationship. Witnesses also came forward, recounting rumors of the priest's involvement with the young woman. When questioned, Father Mercer initially denied any wrongdoing. However, the weight of the evidence and his own guilt eventually led him to confess. He admitted to being at the quarry with Emily that night, but maintained that her death was an accident. The trial and conviction. The trial of Father Jonathan Mercer was one of the most sensational cases Ridgefield had ever seen. The prosecution argued that Father Mercer had deliberately killed Emily to silence her and protect his reputation. The defense, however, insisted that her death was a tragic accident caused by a momentary lapse in judgment. After weeks of testimony and deliberation, the jury found Father Mercer guilty of manslaughter. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison, with the possibility of parole after 10 years. The aftermath. The tragedy left Ridgefield deeply divided. Some parishioners continued to support Father Mercer, believing he had made a mistake in a moment of weakness. Others were outraged, demanding accountability from the church for failing to address the warning signs. Emily's family was devastated, mourning the loss of a young woman whose life was cut short by circumstances beyond her control. They established a foundation in her memory, dedicated to helping women in abusive or manipulative relationships. A tragic lesson. The affair between Father Jonathan Mercer and Emily Parker is a cautionary tale about the dangers of crossing boundaries and the irreversible consequences of poor decisions. It serves as a stark reminder that secrets, no matter how carefully guarded, often come to light, and when they do, the fallout can be catastrophic. If you found this story compelling, please like and subscribe to Barat Array for more true crime documentaries. Thank you for your support as we continue to uncover stories that need to be told.